let's be honest, the Miami GP's first couple of outings haven't exactly been bangers. But this year, we've got a sprint and F1 Academy. That's going to make the astronomical ticket prices worth it, right? 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 Look, I'm going to level with you. Even the boring races are exciting for me. I'm the kind of person who will happily sit and watch the entirety of FP1 just spouting off my own little personal commentary to the long-suffering Mr. Kimmy. I avoid the internet for practice spoilers, for crying out loud. So even though I think the Autodrome to Hard Rock Stadium car park is a pretty boring track, I'm still going to have a great time on the couch this weekend. But I'm going to be honest. I would much rather somebody dump a bunch of cash on the doorstep of Laguna Seca so that they can finally get Grade 1 status with the FIA, because there is nothing more that I would love than to see F1 cars navigate the corkscrew. But I digress. Miami, 2024. The big question. How many times will Charles Leclerc crash at turn 7? I'm kidding. That was mean. I love you, Charles. This year I have faith that I won't be shouting, "Charles, no!" at the TV. Like I feel like I do just about every weekend, to be honest. Last year, tickets for the Miami GP were eclipsed only by Las Vegas. This year it looks like, as with previous, prices have dropped closer to the weekend to try and sell through the last few tickets before things properly kick off. But even then, a 3-day general admissions pass is still more than what I paid for my 3-day All Zones GA ticket for Singapore in September. And I thought that was pricey. Don't talk to me about flights and accommodation, just don't. Subscribe to help a girl out. If I can get to the magic numbers before September, then maybe I can justify this trip. Being at the bottom of the South Pacific, it really sucks sometimes. So, in Miami, we have F1 Academy, which was a pretty decent watch for its first round in Jeddah, and I'm really glad that it is fully on F1 TV now, and a sprint for the second Grand Prix weekend in a row. No F2 or F3 or Porsche Supercar, but at least a little bit of extra competitive padding for the price of admission. And I'm sure the promoters will still figure out a way to call the event a sellout anyway. But even if the racing isn't interesting this weekend, what's going on off track, well, it really is. There is plenty happening behind the scenes to keep us YouTubers flapping our gums. Already we have rumblings that Toto is about to put a huge €150 a year plus contract in front of Max, while Jos continues to make comments that point that this whole thing might be more likely than any of us thought a few weeks ago. Gunther Steiner's suing Haas. US Congress has got involved in the Andretti debacle. The MasterCard sponsorship battle. Then we have more and more reports that Adrian Newey is getting close to a deal with Ferrari. And of course, speaking of Ferrari, this bull. When they said we were getting a blue car, I thought they meant, a blue car. Really, what we got was the same red car with a bunch of Hewlett-Packard logos on it. 14 of them, I think, if I counted them all correctly. And then there's like another 3 on each driver's race suit, plus more on their fireproofs. I bet there's even a huge one on the floor, so if they get craned off track, they can still represent. But I mean, considering the deal is reportedly worth 2/3 of the cost cap, I kind of get it. I mean, if HP thinks that putting all of those logos on the second sexiest car on the grid will ease the collective trauma most of the world has from owning one of their printers, well, whatever moves your furniture, I suppose. And I suppose Ferrari has to pay for Lewis somehow. I mean, I know sponsorship, it's a non-negotiable to be able to go racing, but I'm just going to put this up again. Okay, I'll move on. No one more time. Alright, I'm done, I promise. So, predictions. Listen, I'm not going to go full delusional here and say that anyone other than Max is going to win. I'm pretty sure he's going to secure that top step of the podium again, barring another catastrophic failure like in Melbourne or somebody taking him out in a Turn 1 incident. I think the inevitable march of Verstappen dominance will just continue on. I made my peace with it a long time ago, and to be completely honest, everything going on behind has me fully invested anyway. So what about P2? Well, the smart money's on Checo, but I'm going to call this a Ferrari 2-3, with Charles taking pole, getting eaten up by Max before the DRS is enabled, but hanging on to the second place spot. The Mercedes engine seems to really struggle in the warmer temperatures, so I don't think they're going to be making much headway even with their new Aero upgrades. And when it comes to the Mercedes-powered cars, I think probably the most likely to get into that top 5 will be McLaren, probably Lando. But then having said that, Miami, it's not a particularly rough track on the tyres, so maybe Oscar might have a chance here. And as for gazing deeper into that crystal ball, well, I'm going to make a bold call and say Haas might get some points here this weekend, particularly if Lance Stroll has another mare. And speaking of Lance, I'm also going to say that Daniel Ricciardo, for the third Grand Prix in a row, isn't going to finish the race. Once again, with Lance somewhere in his direct vicinity. I swear, it's starting to feel like this man is cursed. Somebody please free him. But then also, my predictions are often a curse in and of themselves. So maybe this is just me doing a bit of reverse psychology on the universe, huh? God, if only I had that kind of power.